Hi there, it's John Paulus, and you're listening to Life's Potluck Buffet. Thanks for joining me today. Today's episode is all about what others ask of you, so stick around. I ask of you, please. Thanks for sticking around. I appreciate it. So, Worksheet 8 is a version of Card 8, and Card 8 is that card about others always need something from you. Do you remember that episode back in August? It was August 3rd, if you want to check it out. I did a YouTube search to find out, well, what search landscape were we entering into with the idea of others always need something from you. You might recall there were a lot of videos about, let's say, non-reciprocation of asks, where people were saying, well, people ask for things from me all the time, but no one ever asks me what I want. So I hope that all of those people who were not getting asked what they want from others, I hope that in the last couple of months that's changed. I also ran into a video with Dolly Parton. It was Dolly Parton singing "We Are the Champions." You know that Queen song? Is it Queen? Yeah, it's Queen, right? For the 2024 Paris Olympics. Now that's an array of things that I didn't think was going to be possible. I don't know. I would have said, okay, Dolly Parton, Freddie Mercury, and the Paris Olympics in 2024. If you had said all of those words to me at any point in the past, I would be like, oh my goodness, what's going on? But it's a great video. I don't know why it popped up, because I don't know. Is there a line like about asking something in "We Are the Champions"? I'm trying to think of the lyrics. No, I can't think of any answer. But if you think of something, put it in the comments. So, Worksheet 8's title is "What Others Ask of You." I switched it up a little bit because I wanted this exercise to be a little bit more about just thinking about a specific instance of someone asking something of you. So, write or draw something someone asked your advice about recently. That's the instruction for Worksheet 8. And on the top left corner and the bottom right corner, we have 3 blue dumplings. 2 are smaller, 1 is larger. Remember the other day we had the constellation. If you think of a name for that constellation, we had the 3 stars, and 2 were smaller and 1 was larger, and that was following the pattern of these dumplings. Remember that from the other day? Well, if you have a name for that constellation, what that constellation should be in the world of Life's Potluck Buffet, please also let me know. I'm really interested. It'd be great if it could be a group-named constellation. Okay. Write or draw something someone asked you about recently. Okay, let me get a pen here. Let's find a pen. Here's a pen. Oh, I'm gonna have to do this. I know what I'm gonna write here, and for that reason, I have to choose a kind of grayish color, because that's the color of the grout used for my kitchen backsplash. And I'm drawing in right now subway tiles, white subway tiles, featured in the kitchen backsplash. And the reason that I'm doing this is because recently a neighbor asked me, and hello if you're listening, asked me for advice about installing a backsplash, because you see, a family member and I did this together. That family member taught me who's a wonderful tiler. That family member taught me how to tile. And together we did the kitchen backsplash. And so I am drawing that in as we speak. I gotta tell you, I did a better job. I think we did a much better job with the backsplash I'm doing with this drawing. But I'm filling in this whole thing with my. Oh, and the reason I chose the gray pen color is because the grout is gray. So that's the color. It's actually, I think it's silver technically. Silver sounds too shiny. It's not shiny, but it's a lightish gray, silvery color. This is very nice, I must say. And the subway tiles are white subway tiles, and they're long, a little bit longer than, they're not stubby ones, they're longer ones. I used to know the exact length of the tile, of course, but I can't quite recall. But it's just fairly long. And that grout is, yeah, it's a nice grout. It's a nice grout. Okay. All right. Well, I drew that in. So in the box here, I have a little bit of slightly crooked grout lines, but nonetheless, you get the point. And so a few days ago or so, a neighbor asked, "Oh, hey, we're installing a backsplash. We want to do it ourselves. What are some tips?" Because they've seen my backsplash, and so I was able to give some tips. That made me feel real good because that means that, people like the results that we had with the backsplash, which, I mean, it's great. I was no doubt about that in my mind, but it's always nice to hear a nice word from someone else. But you see, when you do something like that stands out, people notice. And then people, when they need something like that, they say, "Oh, I know who to ask. I'll ask John about that," right? Because I noticed that backsplash in John's kitchen. So the idea here with Worksheet 8 is, first of all, thinking about what someone asked of you that pops to mind, whatever that was, and then thinking about what that means to you. In this case, I think this really speaks to that care for craft and the idea of kind of a craftsmanship for myself that I really care about. And someone else noticed that, and they noticed and asked my advice about that craft. And I don't think it's, for me, though it's helpful to my neighbor that I can give advice about the actual tiling and what to do. I don't really plan to go into tiling business at this point. So I don't think that it's a professional message for me, so to speak. I don't think this is something I'm planning on doing. Well, I have no plans to do this as a job at the moment. Who knows what happens in this world, but that's important for me to think about, is that it's not a job pursuit, that this was something really that was kind of an item of self-care. It's kind of a hobbyist. As I mentioned, I've done other things around the house, and the window stools and the many other projects. So for me, it's kind of it falls under my category of things that I do to kind of take care of myself and others in the house, and that's that's not a job thing. At least it doesn't feel like a job thing to me. But the craft part of it is a job thing, because I'm always trying to think of what is my craft and how do I carry that craft out to the best of my ability. No matter what I'm doing, that is always first and foremost in my mind. And that shows. So give Worksheet 8 a try for yourself and find out something that people ask your advice about. And think about what element behind it, like in my case, it was the craft, informs everything you do and what you need to do about that and why you're thinking about this. So give it a shot. Let me know what happens. And I'll see you next time on Life's Potluck Buffet. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a like, subscribe, and head to lifespotluck.com/. worksheets to get a copy of Worksheet 8 or any other worksheet for yourself. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.